Struggling to find a hidden vein or confused about which color tube to use for which lab test? Give me just 5 minutes. I'll make you a master at both. Welcome back to Healfit Media. Today, I'll cover the ultimate guide to phlebotomy and the universal order of draw. Let's dive into the procedure. The first critical step is applying the tourniquet. It should be placed exactly 3 to 4 inches or about 7.5 to 10 centimeters above the intended puncture site. This ensures proper venous engorgement without restricting arterial blood flow. Today's patient has a lot of subcutaneous tissue and that making the veins non-prominent. You cannot rely on sight alone. You must use your index finger to palpate. Apply gentle pressure to feel for these distinct bounds of the median cubital vein. Trace it carefully to understand its direction and shape before you even pick up the needle. Once the vein is located, we move to sterilization. Notice the tourniquet. I am using a firm, circular motion starting from the center of the puncture site and moving outward. Never rub the alcohol pad up and down or back and forth over the same area. That simply drags bacteria right back to where you intended to puncture. Then let the alcohol dry completely. This prevents the patients from feeling a stinging sensation when the needle enters. With the vein stabilized, insert the needle valve at a 15 to 30 degree angle. Once you see a flashback of blood, it's time to draw. Modern hospitals often use the Vacutainer or evacuated tube system. With a Vacutainer, the vacuum inside the tube automatically pulls the exact amount of blood needed at a safe pressure, and that minimizing human error. But today, I am using a traditional syringe method. The golden rule here is a patience. Pull the plunger back very slowly. If you pull too fast, the shear force will cause the red blood cells to burst, a condition known as a hemolysis. Hemolyzed blood leads to highly inaccurate lab reports. Also a quick note, probing blindly or missing the vein can cause a severe complication like nerve injury or a hematoma. Hematoma, where blood leaks into surrounding tissues. So, always be precise. After releasing the tourniquet and safely withdrawing the needle, we must transfer the blood. When using a syringe, never forcefully push the blood into the tube. Instead, carefully let the blood flow gently down the inner wall of the tube. Once filled, the tubes must be inverted gently, usually 5 to 8 times, depending on the additive. Do not shake them vigorously. Shaking destroys the RBC and ruins the sample. The gentle inversion is strictly to mix the blood with the chemical additives present inside the tube to prevent clotting. You can see I collected blood in 2 specific tubes today, a red one and a purple one. Let's break down the universal order of draw, the color codes, and the exact blood volume required for each. Number 1. Red tube. This plain tube requires about 3 to 6 ml of blood. We use this when we needed serum. It is standard for biochemistry, serology, and immunology tests like liver function, kidney function, and lipid profile. Number 2. Purple or lavender tube contains EDTA and requires about 2 to 4 ml of blood. It binds calcium to prevent clotting. We use this primarily for hematology tests like complete blood count CBC, blood smears, and HbA1c. Number 3. Light blue tube contains sodium citrate. Crucial rule: it must be filled exactly to the fill line, usually 2.7 ml or 1.8 ml, to maintain a strict 9:1 blood to additive ratio. It is crucial for coagulation studies like PT, FETT, and INR. Number 4. YOLO or SST serum separator tube requires about 3.5 to 5 ml of blood. Contains a gel at the bottom that separates serum from the cell during centrifugation. Great for general chemistry and endocrinology test. Number 5. Green tube contains heparin and requires 3 to 5 ml of blood, used for state chemistry test and ammonia levels. Number 6. Gray tube contains sodium fluoride and requires 2 to 3 ml of blood. This acts as a glycolysis inhibitor making it the perfect tube for preserving accurate blood glucose and lactic acid levels. Mastering phlebotomy requires understanding not just the physical technique, but the science behind the sample. Proper collection protects the patients and ensures diagnostic accuracy. If this clinical breakdown helped you, be sure to like, share, and subscribe to Healfit Media for more medical masterclasses. Keep practicing and stay safe.